Well, I'll start again with my video for October the 3rd, 2018, video number 2864. The title is The Brett Kavanaugh Supreme Court Fiasco. Yes, I have been following this online since I virtually never watch TV. I listened to his entire testimony before Congress, and I've also seen several articles, videos, both pro and con, in regard to his character and Supreme Court nomination. Some point all the way back to his teenage years. What a mess. Some say he was quite a party guy and a womanizer too. Many teens do sow their oats, as the expression goes, both male and female. Unless Trump's promise to drain the swamp, it has meaning. Does it really matter? According to Anna von Reitz and others in the Republic movement, the true high court is still in Philadelphia, not Washington. As I said in a previous video in a comment about him, records show he was trained in Jesuit universities. The Jesuits, of course, for those who have done some research, are the dark side of the Roman Church. The Franciscans are said to be more honorable and in line with spiritual principles. Whatever the truth really is, I want to see real change for humanity. That's been my vision and life purpose going all the way back to my early teenage years. I would hope that Mr. Kavanaugh has truly lived a more exemplary life as an adult. If so, maybe he does have a positive contribution to make in the unfolding revelations of corruption at the highest levels. Will the playing field finally be at least somewhat leveled? Now, I had started to record this and I didn't unplug my phone, so wouldn't you know it, it was interrupted, so I just simply started over again. In any case, folks, this thing I've been getting a lot of stuff from various sources in relation to Mr. Kavanaugh. And when I listened to his speech, I felt a sense of humility coming from him. I did not feel he was lying. That doesn't mean I felt he was telling the whole truth about everything. That's virtually impossible to tell the whole truth because there's lots of things that we ourselves don't even know. As I examine my own life, I know that's true. Some of my motivations in past experience did not come out till much later, till I saw some of the dynamics that were in play. And I would be the last person to throw rocks at somebody who sowed their oats in their teens. Now, of course, when I was a teenager, as I've said in other and even more recent videos, my parents would punish me by saying, you can't go to church. I did not sow my oats like a lot of teenagers did, even in my generation. I never had intersexual intercourse until I got married, and I was approaching 22 years old at the time. So I cannot relate to teenagers that sow their oats, although I'm sure most teenagers do, at least half. But I don't know the real statistics, and it doesn't really matter. Brett Kavanaugh did strike me as humiliating himself in a way to reveal things about his early childhood, or should more especially say not early childhood, but teenage years. And this whole thing of the fighting back and forth trying to discredit him, the lady that's trying to discredit him when she was a teenager and claiming that this stuff happened when they were teenagers, is that really relevant? To me, it's not. Lots of teenagers do lots of things. And to hold it against them decades later, 3-4 decades later, is crazy, because people do change as the circumstances in their lives change. And I'm assuming that Mr. Kavanaugh is a reasonably happily married man. I'm assuming he has a decent reputation. I don't know that. All I know is what I heard him reveal in his testimony. And I've seen many things that contradict things in his testimony, and I've seen things that support things in his testimony. So who's to be believed? But as I said in the blurb, our whole country has been sidelined, and everything has been corrupted since the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln, even though I liked Abraham Lincoln for many reasons, he was still the first bar attorney to hold public office. Nobody before him, up to the first 15 presidents, and I assume vice presidents as well, held a bar certified, none of them were bar certified attorneys. There were lawyers, but not bar attorneys, because the British Accredited Registry was seen as a dual alliance or allegiance, and you weren't allowed to have an allegiance to a foreign country, not Israel, and back then not Britain, not England. So the whole thing is crazy to me, because most public office now at the local, county, state, and national level, most of the people that hold office are bar attorneys. And I'm sure attorney is the most prevalent occupation of those that run for political office. This is the travesty. And I'm not saying that every bar attorney is bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that that they're automatically disqualified as being honorable human beings because they're part of the bar. It has become so that most people aren't even aware of what bar means, British Accredited Registry, not even aware that the purpose of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution was to forbid people from having dual citizenship. Dual citizenship is an anathema. People have to, if they want to become citizens of the United States, need to let go of citizenship to any other place, no matter where they were born. And in many cases, a lot of the dual citizens of Israel and the United States weren't born in Israel. They were born in the United States and perhaps in some cases Europe, but not in Israel. So the whole thing is crazy, but I'd like to see honor restored to public office. I'd like to see the swamp actually get drained. I'd like to see the principles that the United States was founded upon restored, especially the Bill of Rights and the early amendments to the Constitution, the first original 13 amendments, which was the Bill of Rights plus 3. Those need to be restored and reactivated. And some of the other ones that came later need to be abolished altogether, or at least resubmitted and revoted upon. But to people that hold dual citizenship should not be allowed to vote, let alone hold public office. So the whole thing to me is just more insanity. And we've been dumped on as human beings by the insane and insidious power grab of a so-called elite that finally it's coming to light how depraved they are of human values. They don't even honor little children. They use little children. Anyway, folks, that's all for this video. Thank you again for listening, and namaste.